Hello and welcome. My name is Katsu, and thank you for joining me tonight for the second part of a very special challenge run in Frostpunk. I like to call this Frostpunk for Masochists because it is a special challenge that just aims to set the difficulty as high as possible. The details you'll find in the description of the video, but I won't go over them again since it's the second part. We're going to jump right in so that you can see that I'm continuing from the same save spot around the same time. Nothing changed, no redos. I'm just going to continue. And today's goal is going to be how we get from having our hothouses up, which was a major goal of the first 45 minutes, to making it to the next milestone, so to speak, which is going to be the arrival of the Londoners. So in that sense, we will be doing a whole bunch of scouting this time, look into what the most efficient routes are, and how to grow our colony into a state that can survive the upcoming temperature drops. Right now things are still looking stable, but that is gonna change fairly soon. So let's just see. The next important thing that's gonna happen, since we're not particularly forced to build anything at this point, except in switching this to working hours, is our scout is going to be arriving. Our sick people are taken care of, and this is the next big thing to come. Technology is running on Steelworks. We're going to go over to sawmills fairly soon, but other than that, we're pretty much in a solid state, like I said last time. So we have discovered the bridge to Winterhome, which is going to yield us the first automaton, and that I'm gonna send back home. Now you could dismantle this to get 2 steam cores out of it, and I'm not gonna do that because I don't really have anything to do for the steam cores. I don't have a factory up, and I do not need 2 more hothouses at this point. We will always have hungry people, but that is fine. So it's more important at this point to just get this thing back and have it start working. The scout I sent to the weather station, which is part of the story and opens the way to the coal mine, which we want to unlock, because it is one of the important targets on the way to the Londoners to get an outpost here that's mining for us. Now we do have a bunch of sick people. That is pretty much because it's cold, but this is going to be taken care of once it gets day. Just to be safe though, we're gonna put up another medical post and staff it so that these people are not gonna fall gravely ill. They're not gonna die as long as they're in the medical posts, but we don't want them to be a drain on our economy at this point. That's just not a good idea. So to achieve that, I'm reallocating engineers again, because everybody else is researching, and I'm staffing the the new medical post with 1 person. So we will have the hothouses working fairly soon, and as soon as you have these 2 up, you're pretty much good to go on food. You will have hungry people, that's fine. Nobody will die from it. And the next thing we're gonna see here coming in is our policy. So let's speed this up. And we have already established all of the important things, all of the things that we really want to have. We got. The next thing is going to be the choice between medic apprentices and engineer apprentices. Now, medic apprentices is nice. It's going to speed up the healing process of your medical posts. Engineer apprentices is going to speed up your research. And I'm going to go for engineer apprentices in this case, simply because if you have sick people, you can always build another medical post, or you can build another infirmary later on. But you can take care of this throughout the day. If you don't meet a research deadline, if you don't get something done by the end of 1 day because you're too slow on your teching, it is better to have these engineer apprentices. In the end, it's not such a big difference, mainly because you can play around with the allocations of your engineers in the different buildings anyway. But I don't know, I like engineers. So we got that going. That's gonna take some time now. It's gonna take some time until the scout gets here, and otherwise there's not really anything for us to do at this point, right? We have all the gathering posts that we can staff. We do have workshops, but we don't have people coming in, so there's no need to get more of them at this point. We don't have steam cores for hothouses. We have one cookhouse, which is plenty for the whole game. And we have, if I'm not mistaken, enough child shelters for all the kids that we have in the colony as well. So no point on that. Snow pit is up. And in terms of the houses, I'd rather be a bit on the cautious side and not put too many in the landscape before we know if we actually need them. So no more talking. Let's just move forward and click this stuff away until the next big thing happens. This is the Steelworks. This is interesting because now we have to make a tech choice again. We could go and upgrade to tier 2 technology. I mean, we have a bunch of wood here. We have a bunch of coal coming in from our scout. So let's take a look if we're actually forced. We have 500 in here, we have 800 in here, so we're still okay. This one is also still mining, although not for long. So we don't really need the thumpers at this point. Coal mining we're not gonna get yet, because the next steam cores we also need for hothouses. Well, we could go for a wall drill, but that would cost us a core as well, and as long as we still have wood lying around, sawmills would be fine. We could heal our people a bit faster. I don't think that's necessary as long as we got them covered. And we could think about upgrading our heating technology, because I mean it's gonna get a little colder, but not that much. So essentially the choice right now is between upgrading our technology and getting sawmills. And with the upgrade of the technology, well, we could also think about more scouting. This is sort of a tough choice. I don't really need the sawmills at this point. I will need them after this for sure. But I could go for scouts, and then the scout would cost me another 40. Or I could tech up all the way and prepare the Outpost Depot, and we're actually gonna do this. So we're pretty much out of steel, but that's okay because we have new building options. We're gonna put them down right away. 1. We don't need to go all out on these at this point. We will do that later. But that way we have taken care of the majority of our unemployed workers. I'm doing this during the day now. I could have waited for another 2 hours, but it's not that much of a big deal. Our scout found the weather station. That gives us steam cores and coal, which is great. And now we have the choice to go to Winterhome. Do not do this. Like, I cannot reiterate this enough. It is now day 8, and if you go to Winterhome, you pretty much you move the story forward. That means Londoners are gonna keep coming. That means the timing of the storm is gonna be fixed, and it means you are pretty much sort of speeding up the whole process. So we're not gonna think about this at this point. We're also not gonna head over to the convoy at this point. What we're gonna do is we're gonna head to the coal mine. Because this is a safe location, there are no people, just coal, and it unlocks it from becoming an outpost, which we could do after. And if you look at our consumption, we're pretty much breaking even at this point. But that's only gonna stay this way until the next cold spell hits. So let's see, this was pretty much everything we needed to do for the day. We have hungry people, don't worry about hungry people. I mean, this is... there's only snow here. You should be hungry. Never mind. So, the reason why I'm not too worried about these hungry people is because it takes some time until a person goes from being hungry or to being starving. Starving people are a problem, but overall this takes quite a long time until until people actually start dying from this. Depending on the size of the colony, we're now at 100. 40 is more than okay. Plus, the next day this is gonna come down again. So all we're gonna do is stuff our steelworks, so we got a stable steel income, and then we'll sort of wait it out the night. We have, again, 12 unemployed workers, and I'm thinking of putting down another steelworks, but that's gonna be 25 wood. And as it stands, we really don't have wood income other than what we have right now. And we will need 10 more at least for the upgrade to sawmills, and we will need at least 10 to 20 more for building the actual 2 sawmills that we're gonna build. So that's 30. That leaves us with 25 plus a road layout. So I could do this, but this would cut it tight. But again, whatever. Tight is the name of this run. We're gonna go for this. Let's see. 5 wood brings us to 32. And we have the roads already in place for the sawmills. You'll see that in a second. Which means we can afford to do this. Now we're gonna get starving people. But it's also gonna get... it's also day pretty soon. So... that is not such a big problem, because the hothouses are gonna start producing again. Now, another choice to make. Are we gonna just take the coal, or are we gonna dismantle the coal mine for wood, steel, steam cores, and coal? But we can no longer use it as a source of income. Now, in the beginning I've always taken this down, because it's a huge amount of resources at this point. But resources are only useful if you can do something with them. And at this point we have our food covered with the hothouses, and steel and wood we can get from other sources at this point as well. However, 800 coal per day from the coal mine is huge, so we're not going to dismantle it. We're going to keep it in place. And our scout, which pretty much has a bunch of coal and a steam core, we will send back home. I want the 3rd steam core at this point. I could have him go here, but I want another hothouse just to be sure that this is not spiraling out of control. Next day, as you can see, the people are going to work. They're not working yet, so they're building the rest of the road, and they're also putting up the steelworks, which we staff immediately, and then we're good again. Now, again, we still have hungry people and starving people, but you'll see over the course of the day that this number is gonna shrink. We have 3 people which are not in a medical post, and I'm a little worried about those. Because if you're not paying attention, then you might lose somebody just because they're not being taken care of. Now I'm gonna gamble at this point. I hope that during the day, and I'm gonna raise the temperature a little bit more, that helps. I'm gonna make sure that these are gonna get taken care of. This is a risk I'm taking, but it looks like it paid off. The problem is we haven't fully staffed the medical posts, so we're not that fast at curing people. And now we're gonna go ahead with sawmills and technology. So it takes longer for them. They are in the institutions, but it takes longer for them to actually be cured. So this is something that's a bit tight here. I did not build another medical post because, well, I don't really have the wood for it. However, I think we succeeded. This is fine. We have space in total for 40. We have them all inside now, but you don't want to do this. You don't want to risk people being out too long, because you will get gravely ill people, and that is just a drain on your economy, because they will just soak up space in the medical posts. The next step, our big guys coming in. This is a turning point, because now you have a worker essentially that is going to be active throughout the whole night. So we are gonna put this guy on Steelworks. That is because hothouses I would need to heat up at night. I don't really want to do that. Even though this night would work. Actually, never mind. Let's just do this. Because we're at -30. -30 means it's warm enough. Policies. You can see, in contrast to the beginning of the run, now stuff is happening a bit faster. So more decisions are coming in more quickly. We're good on the most important things. Everything else from now is a plus. Care houses, I don't need, because I don't have anybody who's in need of, who's in palliative care, so they're not necessary. I want to go for fighting arenas. It's gonna fight discontent a little, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I have unfortunately blocked the spot. That's where this thing is gonna go fairly soon. We're gonna get 8, but it's we're gonna wait a little bit. I want to have the sawmills up before I put this down. We have some time, 2 days. This should be enough. We get more starving people again, but I'm not worried about this anymore. The 2 hothouses will always compensate for starving people at night, because it's gonna feed them first in the day. And since we have the automaton on the hothouse at night, we're also gonna start the day with a bit more raw food than we would otherwise have. So you can see all of these are gonna disappear at the beginning of the day. So, the beginning of the day, you want to take this automaton off because it's 1.4 per hour. And with workers, you can actually get more out of this per day. They're more efficient. Our scout returned, and now we're sort of in a position we will have sawmills coming in quite soon. So what we're trying to do is we're gonna get some more people. Now in here I'm gonna do something. Again, you see 8 hours to arrive, 21 hours to arrive. You always want to go to a known location first. I think I mentioned that before, but I'm not sure. That's it so far. Again, like, we don't have anything to do. We have the automaton that's not being used, but it's day, so, and we don't have a building that we could put it on, I think. We don't have the technology yet to put it on a medical post, so we'll just, unfortunately, leaving it idle at this point. Let's take a look at the heat diagram. We don't have heaters, so this is chilly. This is gonna make our people a little bit sick. But again, at this point I'm preferring the efficiency of gathering over the few sick people that we're kind of taking care of in our healthcare system. So like I said, hungry people are being taken care of. Sawmills are researched. Now this should always make you happy, because this means that we're from now on we're autonomous in terms of our consumed resources, our main stuff. That means placing the sawmills in set locations. I'm just checking. Let's just see. This and 1, 2 more, so I should place it about here to be safe, so that the next hothouse fits there. I just want to have it there and not block myself from anything. So let's do this. Next research step. We don't have that much wood, so we can't afford some of the more expensive technologies at this point. That's okay. Heaters we will need at some point, for sure. We will also start gathering things fairly soon, and we will need to have another source of coal before our local reserves run out. But we're at full capacity right now. We have 100 in here, we have 500 here, so we can still afford to delay this a little bit more. Instead we could go for upgrading sawmills, or we could go for researching heaters, because things will get cold after this at some point. As long as we have wood, it's okay. We don't need to have extra fast wood. And the other things that are interesting we can afford in that sense. So it will be heaters. I apologize if I spend too much time, if I bore you with these explanations, but I think the key point, really the most important point about making it through this game, is that you're making the right decisions when you have choices. It's not so much, when you're in a position that you are, you get sick people and it's cold and you don't have coal, that's kind of when you're behind the curve and when you don't really have that many options left. But what you want to do is you will stay in a position where you can prepare yourself a long way in advance. So we have a sawmill, and now we have a good spot for an automaton. And there we go. Again, ignore all these requests. We have no way of ensuring that we're gonna make them, that we're gonna meet them. So yeah, that is it so far. One tip, if you are ever not sure if you're still on pace for a Deathless run, you can check the snow pit. That gives you a pretty clear indicator whether or not you're still making it. We have wood coming in now, that's important. We want a second sawmill up here. I'm gonna build that fairly soon, as soon as we hit 10. But it's just important that this is trickling in now, because soon we'll get more people, which means we need more houses here. And we are also forced to build a fighting arena pretty soon. So we gotta make sure that all of this is coming in at the same time. So this sawmill goes over here. We're not gonna staff it fully. Or maybe we're just gonna reallocate workers from steel. I think that's a good choice at this point. We're solid in that. So it's more important to actually get the wood going when we can. Everything else is fine. We don't have any engineers to spare. We don't have any unemployed people. Everybody's in child shelters, and the generator is also just fine. Let's speed things up again to the next important decision, which is going to be scouting. Now, we have to make a choice again regarding the survivors. And oh god, I made a mistake. I apologize. I went to the wrong location. I did not mean to go to the gloomy cave. I absolutely did not. So we're gonna find out in a second if this run continues as smooth sailing, or if this is gonna get a lot more difficult. If my scout dies, that does not count towards Deathless, because I believe, actually, I'm not entirely sure, because if that does, it would be annoying. I would have to reset, play again to this point, and continue, because there's nothing you can do. You kind of want to attack the bears, because even if your scout dies, this is more people. This is definitely worth losing a scout for. But you still need 40 wood and 5 people again to get back where you were. So, and this is random, nothing to do about it. So, let's just keep our fingers crossed and see what happens. Wow! Okay, again, RNGesus is with us. This can go horribly wrong and then force you into a whole different build order, but it didn't. So the scouts chased the bears away, they're still alive, and they're getting the people to come back home safely. That's the outcome you want. It didn't reveal a new location, so I should have gone here to the observatory. That was just a clear mistake. But I'm sort of relieved this is out of the way, to be honest. So now we know, in about 10 hours we have, that's 20, 30 something people, so we need another 4 houses and have them prepared and ready. We need to staff these medical stations, but we are... and I think 4 should do it. Should do it if we staff them fully. But we definitely need to take care of our people now. So, in case you remember last time, I was fighting a little with the placement of these buildings. So, let's just hope that this doesn't happen again. And as I say it, it does. So, this is a bit tricky. This is this annoying shrinking problem you have in the game that you can't really do much about it. So I apologize if this takes a little bit and is boring, but you will see that you have to do this. You need to have this amount of houses in this location. Because if you don't, and that is the problem, if you don't, then you need to place them somewhere else, and that basically means you need to get a heater, another steam hub that you do not want. So I will now try to make this work, and I'll be damned this is going to. But I can see, let's see if we can pause this so you can see it. This is a mistake. This house is too large. This one. There. I need to take this one down. So I'm running a risk now. I'm gonna put people out on the street.
Time to get to work.
Actually, I'm not. Never mind. Fine. That means I need fewer houses than expected. And this should then work out. Let's see and hope. I swear this is not OCD or anything. You need to do this. Let's see. This looks like it's supposed to look. There we go. I'm just gonna put them down. There we go, this is a bit larger. This goes here as well. And this way we're ready for even the people after. Public house is going to be the next one because, well, again, we don't need the care houses, and why not? Moonshine is a good policy. But now it's about time to think about a fighting area because, well, 1 day and 10 hours. It goes here, so we're gonna take down another house and replace its location with a fighting area. Everything else is being built. Our people are there, and you can see. So we have more than we need, so we don't need this. We will not need this. Let's see. Let's send the scout away. We're gonna get more people. We can, you know, speed things up a little. And we're gonna use them. The houses are under construction, that is fine. But since we have more people now, I want to prioritize healing them up. We also have a bunch of resources now, because we had them coming in for some time. And what we can do now is we can start with our Outpost Depot. Again, the important thing to keep in mind is how much coal do we have left. And now we have 400 here, but this one is already out. And this one is gone. So we're gonna run into a shortage there fairly soon. However, we will also have a bunch of people coming in, so I'm again choosing to forego the outpost and see that we find something to do for the huge amount of people that we're gonna get soon. Again, don't take this. It raises discontent, but if you fail it, it's just so much more annoying. So now we just have to wait for the houses to be built. Again, this is risky. You do not want to have anybody outside when it gets dark. And I'll have to take a short break. I'll be back in a second. Alright, let's continue. So things are looking fairly good right now. except that we're waiting for our next technology to finish, the thumpers. Other than that, we can only speed things up at this point. We can allocate a few workers that we have received, and we have more engineers. And you don't really want to waste much time, so let's go for more workshops. We have the layout already drawn here, so we can just place them and make sure that the rest of our engineers get allocated quickly. Now you can see it's in the middle of the night now. I've placed the buildings, but nothing's happening. That is because the construction happens always on the way to the gathering locations and on the way back. That's a bit annoying, but again, nothing you can do about this. We have a new policy. We're just gonna go for Moonshine because why not? It's good. It's positive. Not much to say about it. And we're gonna place an additional hothouse. Hothouses are also nice because they only cost a steam core and wood, both of which we have. Fits nicely in here, so that's a +2. And we'll take care of our food shortage that we're running into at this point. Let's see. 4 workers here. We do have enough steel at this point, so we're gonna take 6 off. Make sure that we staff this. As you can see now, it is becoming a problem that we don't have heaters yet. Right? Oh, we do actually. I was just not smart for not turning them on. The reason why you want to do this is because the work time also counts towards sickness, so people will get sick if you don't heat their work spaces, and if they just spend time in the medical post, that will slow down your economy. So you can see here, it's quite a drag on our food production. It's actually starting to become a problem. We have our autonomous still on wood, but I might switch this over to a hothouse. We'll see. Let's see how far we go down with our hungry people. And since we have the observatory, which means more hungry people now, we have to keep an eye on this. As you can see, we're sort of always on the brink of, well, someone dying, but you gotta play this on the edge to make it work, actually. No way around it. Thumpers are done, which is going to be the next big thing to build, but now we have to make some more important decisions. We have a bunch of sick people. We also want to get scouts out soon. And we want to make sure that we have our coal income stabilized, because I've just turned on the heaters, and that means since we don't have thumpers, we have only one with 6 absences, we're pretty much in the red, so we need to get on this right away. So now we have the choice. What's more important? Feeding people, keeping people warm, or keeping, you know, the whole coal thing running overall. And that's a pretty clear decision. We need this one. We need this Outpost Depot. We already have the thumpers, but we will need a ton of coal once we turn on the heaters on everything. And we will get more people coming in fairly soon. So this is the next one. Five hours. This is 34 people, including children. Right now, we're good in terms of the child shelters, but we need 4 more houses. We have the wood for that, so we're gonna put it down. 1, 2, and let's continue. Now, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna start again putting down the road layout. But I'm not gonna put a house there yet, because that location will only be feasible once we reach the upgrade to the Steam Hub range. So this one is going to be heated up. I don't think this will be. So we need 1. And again, trying to keep things small. 2. 3. 4. So 1, 2, 3. I will replace one of the houses later on, but not at this point. And I will also prepare another child shelter, which is going to fit neatly in here. There we go. It is already connected, so no new... Oh, no! Oh god, that was a mistake on my part. Yeah, that was terrible. I did not want to do that, it was a misclick. But let's see how we deal with this. It's gonna be a huge blow to hope if we are not gonna make this, and I'm pretty sure we won't. So yeah, there's no way this is gonna happen. So we're just gonna forget about it and continue, and accept that we're probably not gonna meet the challenge with the Londoners anymore. That sucks. Our new people arrived. Let's send our scout out right away. Again, known location first. Let's look at the dates. I think we're still good. We can still get him there and back before the cold hits. And we now have a bunch of people that we can employ to do interesting stuff. So we're gonna put them in a thumper. And we're also gonna heat that as soon as we get to the right location. There we go. I'm putting a heater down because I know as soon as the outpost is up, we will have the coal income. We will actually need a resource depot at that point to be able to deal with all of the stuff that's coming in. But for now,
Time to earn your bread.
we'll be okay. There we go. 2 more here. We're still solid on steel, so we're gonna relocate a few more people here because I want to keep my engineers. We've just taken in a bunch of additional people. At the same time, we're a bit constrained on coal, so I'm not opening up a new steam hub yet. And we're hoping that this is enough medical posts to cover it. We'll see how this goes. But what I do want to do is I want to continue and tech up as quickly as I can. Just gonna put down some more here. And yeah, 1 here. Can worry about that part later. The reason is we just want to speed up all of our teching as much as we can so that we get to the really important breakpoint technologies as early as possible. So let's see how this goes. Like you see, there is no way we're gonna make it. At least I really don't think that. I really don't think so. The convoy. We should be good. Like I'm risking not making it to Winterhome in time, but we should be fine. We'll see. Anyway, we can tech up some more, and now, since we are a bit constrained, we are going to build the upgrade to medical posts. We have a few other options, and we do need to think about those fairly soon. We need to get the heating up, but we can take a lot of stress from our medical posts, and that is the right choice at this point. We also have another policy option. I'm not getting those. Well, we want to avoid everything that makes hope fall. And I'm not sure if this permanently falls, but care houses are nice. And having one is a good thing. We also have to build the public house, and we're gonna do that. Both of that now. So, what we're gonna do here is for
End of shift.
the care house,
All who can.
we'll find a location that is going to be here, I suppose. I'm not entirely sure where I'm going to put it. I might put it actually here. I will heat it up once the steam hub range increases. And I won't be needing it as long as nobody gets too sick anyway. So that's not a big problem. But you have to be careful with these actually. Let me talk about something quickly. Sustain Life says that the gravely ill will be kept alive but untreated in medical posts. That is good. But it also says in medical posts, and that means only in medical post. So that means if you have a person who is being treated in another facility and that facility is not staffed completely, they can actually die. That has happened to me. So they are in another facility and that facility is not running at full capacity. People can just die even though they're all, you know, within this gray number. It's, I don't know, took a while to find that out. It's pretty frustrating, to be honest. But another one of the things we just gotta accept at this point. We have some more engineers left, and I do want to use them. There we go, we have one promise fulfilled. We need the public house next. So, where is it? The public house. That thing actually needs to be in a warm area, because it runs at a time that is past the working hours of the normal steam hubs. So I'm placing it here. And I'm considering also, I might change the location of this care house. Yeah, I'm taking it down for now. The achievement that you got here is you need to build one. That doesn't say you need to keep it. So we're not keeping it. But we do want to set up our next residential area, because we'll have more people coming in at some point. There we go. Putting one in here to open it up. Put down another steam hub. And then we could go for another medical post or a care house in here or something. But I'll put one here. Yeah, we only gonna have two here anyway, so let's get another one of those. Make sure that the roads are connecting. There we are. So now you can see we have 22 hours left. This is a warning sign. Get survivors, escort survivors. And oh, I made a mistake. I might have just blown the run. Let's see. Because we have to make it back by day 15 to Winterhome, and this is just probably going to be too tight now. Let's see if I just threw everything away. There we go. So this is staffed. This is going to be staffed. Not completely, but at least to some extent. And now we need to see that we use the technology that we've researched, the Outpost Depot, because that looks ugly, because we have a weather forecast that is still favorable, but we need to start stockpiling coal. We need to make sure that this never hits 0, because if it does, the sick people are just gonna throw us over the edge. So let's see how we do this. But again, key point, there's the medical post upgrade, is whether or not our scout makes it in time now. And I am really worried. I think I just made a big mistake. We'll see. Everything else is fine at this point. Scouts, we can go for more scouts to sort of jumpstart our scouting. And we'll do that. So, as you can see here, it's chilly in here. We don't want it chilly, it's a bit too cold. This is even cold. Why is that one cold? Oh, because there's nobody in it. Okay, that's fine then. Which means it doesn't need to be heated. And now let's see whether or not we're making it back in time. Another gathering post has disappeared. And we now have 300 coal left. Yeah. Like I said before, this run is pretty tight in every sense. So let's see how this works out. More people means more houses are necessary. Didn't build them in advance this time because, well, these guys need to do something for their money, I guess. And setting up the houses here again. Ah, yeah, that's what I said. I mentioned earlier that this area is just messy, so I'm not gonna bother. Because after all, if you don't make decisions, 2 days, 12 hours, that is not gonna work out. Let's see, weather station, 23 hours. I think we're fucked. Let's see. Policy, we're gonna get prosthetics because why not? Might need it at some point later on. It got a bit warmer, which is nice, because it takes care of our sick people and makes sure that the hothouses are running and everything. But I'm really worried now. Like, all of what we're doing right now is not worth it if the scout doesn't make it there in time. And we might... This technology actually, I didn't even explain anything. This might just come in as a lifesaver. We'll see. I will continue at this point as if we're still on track. I will continue to build everything as it's supposed to be. But, like I said, I'm not sure if we're a dead man walking at this point. 2 more. Just because it fits the layout. And then we still have about a bunch of engineers left, 20 in total. And we do want to put them all in workshops. There we go. At this point, I can take down this sawmill, which I'll do. Make some space, because we'll continue with hothouses here. And I will need another road to keep this running. So let's see.
Gather your tools. The shift is
This
ending.
spot I'm basically saving for another cookhouse very later on. 5 hours. That's what I meant. See, that was just... We're not gonna make the Londoners anymore because of this job. Because we're about to hit winter home as well. 2 hours, 1 hour. But it's almost day 15 and I don't think this is going to work out in time. Something just happened. Oh, okay, fine. So it takes 15 hours. So now we're gonna find out if the deadline is actually before day 15 or on day 15. Oh, it would suck if this wouldn't work out. Because if you don't make it there before day 15, or like I said, on day 15, I don't know, we'll find out soon. A dead person will arrive at your city's doorstep. And that ends our Deathless run. I also screwed up because I forgot to build an outpost team to go to the coal mine. You see, I'm getting distracted because I'm trying to speed things up a little.
On the left. Steady forward.
But we might not be dead. Let's see.
Get going.
After all, it is day. We've just sped up our scout considerably with the new research. And now we can continue under the assumption that we are gonna survive this. So let's do that. Let's do that, and well, we've got the important things out of the way at this point. We're gonna go for a factory because we still have a few days at this temperature level. And there goes the run. There goes the run. I am sorry, but that was it. That is disappointing.
New law. A new law has passed.
Okay, yeah. That is frustrating because everything else we got under control. I missed the timing on the outpost team. That could have been earlier, but we would still make it until they get back with the next load of coal. But unfortunately we can't recover from this, so that is it at this point. Thank you for watching. If you have watched until this point, I appreciate your endurance. What I will do now is, I meant this as a challenge and I will not back down from it. what I will do next is I will replay the first video. I will just replay throughout the first 45 minutes quickly and set it up in exactly the same way as you've seen it in the first video. And then I will try this again and make it through to the survival Deathless without basically just screwing myself over on purpose. It is quite a challenge, as you've seen. You have to be mindful and focused at all times and not make any rash decisions. But that's kind of the point, figuring out all of these little details of what to do when and what not to do when. So, thank you so much again for your time. It has been a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to next time.